Hello everyone. So in today's lesson we are going to talk about true false not given question. So what is true false not given question? So that's what we will talk about. So in IELTS reading, true false not given questions test whether a statement matches, contradicts, or is absent from the passage. So what does it mean? So you'll be given statements, for example, 5 to 6 statements. So you're going to decide whether the statements are true, false, or not given based on the passage, right? So this is one type of questions in IELTS reading. So you're going to decide whether the statement is true or whether the statement is false or not given, right? So if the statement matches the information in the passage, you're going to decide true. If the statement uh, contradicts the passage, you're going to decide false. If there is no information regarding the statement, if there is no information, or if the passage is silent about the statement or the information in the statement, you're going to decide not given. So you can decide true, false, not given, right? So now let's move on to what is true again. So you're going to write T in your exam, on your answer sheet. So you will write if the statement agrees. If the statement agrees, then agrees with the information in the passage, you can write T, right? So you will write T. And if the statement contradicts the information in the passage, you will write F, right? And if the passage does not mention the information at all, you will write NG, that means not given. So this is how you will write your answers on your answer sheet, right? So when the statement agree with the information in the passage, you will write true. And if the statement contradicts the information in the passage, you are going to write false. If the passage does not mention the information at all, means if you can't find the information at all, which is in the statement, but you can't find it in the passage, then you're going to decide not given, right? Now let's move on again. So the true means, in short, we would say when the statement agrees, we'll write true. We are going to decide true, and then if the statement contradicts, then you're going to decide false. And if the information missing in the passage, then you're going to write missing. So you're going to write not given, right? Right. Now, you are given a set of statements related to the passage, right? So the statements would be related to the reading passage. So what is your task? So your task is if each statement is true, false, or not given. So you're going to decide if each statement is true or false or not given, right? So you will write T, F, and NG, right? So this is what you are going to write, right? So what are you going to do, and what the expectation, or what is the purpose of this type of question? So you need to locate the specific information, because these type of questions will be based on the information, a kind of information which is factual information. So this is not about opinions of the author. This is not of beliefs of someone. This is not of the opinions or beliefs or arguments of a writer. No, this is actually factual information. So you need to locate the specific information, right? So these questions are going to check your ability to locate the specific information, right? So whether you can locate specific information, and whether you can understand uh, whether the statement matches or contradicts, or the information is missing. So you should be able to locate the specific information, locate specific information. So that is one of the skill needed to get the correct answers for these type of questions. Right. Now we are going to talk in detail. For example, if you look at our example passage, this is our example passage. The Eiffel Tower is in Paris. So I already said the statement should be factually correct to decide true, right? So if the statement is factually correct according to the passage, remember it should be according to the passage, not according to your outside knowledge. So you can't depend on outside knowledge to decide whether the statements are true, false, not given. So you need to rely on, remember, you have to rely on the passage, right? So if you look at our example passage, the passage says the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, right? So what about the statement? But the statement mentions the Eiffel Tower is located in Paris, right? So there is a new word, located. You can see located. So you can see the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, and the statement says the Eiffel Tower is located in Paris. So it's true because it's similar meaning and similar, like, located is a different word, but it's a similar word to the be verb. Like they have used the be verb to talk about, the where is the Eiffel Tower. It's in Paris. So the Eiffel Tower is located in Paris. It's also similar to, right? So it's a similar word or similar phrasing uh, to to mention, to express the same information. So you can decide true. So both the passage and the statement factually, they matches each other, right? So the statement factually should be factually correct according to the passage. That's important, right? Now let's move on to the another definition, which is false. Let's talk about false. When the statement directly contradicts the passage, you're going to decide false, right? For example, when the passage says the Eiffel Tower, right? When the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, so that is our passage. But the statement directly contradicts the passage. Remember, they're talking about different place, right? The Eiffel Tower is in London. So the statement directly contradicts the passage. So you're going to decide false, right? So the statement doesn't match the passage. It doesn't match the information in the passage. So if the statement directly contradicts the passage, then you're going to decide false, right? Now let's look at another example for not given type of questions, right? So for example, when the passage doesn't provide enough information, that's important. Look at enough information to decide, then you're going to decide not given, right? Example, when the passage says the Eiffel Tower in Paris, this is our passage, right? Look at this is passage, and the statement mentions the Eiffel Tower was built in 1889. So you can see there is no information about the time that the Eiffel Tower was built in, right? So there is no information. So they are not talking about the time that the Eiffel Tower was built in. So if the passage doesn't mention the year of the Eiffel Tower, means which was built in 1889. So if the passage doesn't mention the time that the tower built in, then you can decide not given, because there is no information about the time that the tower was built, right? So you can decide not given based on the passage, right? So remember, you can't use your own outside knowledge. You can't use any knowledge to decide the statements whether true or whether they are true or false or not given, right? So you need to depend on uh, only right. So you need to depend on uh, only on the passage, right? So that's important, right?